Is the audio okay?
Mahadev Swamiji, it is okay, Swamiji.
Om Yogamanam Vidadhati Purvam Yo Vai Vedanscha Prahinoti Tasmai Tam Devamatma Buddhi Prakasham Mumukshurvai Sharanamaham Prapatye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadevyo Brahma Vidya Sampradaya Kartribhyo Vanshirshibhyo Mahatyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvopaplavarahitaha Prajnanaghanaha Pratyagardho Brahmaivahamasmi Brahmaivahamasmi. Vedantartha Vibhasakaya Gurave Shantaya Sannyasine Nanavadi Nagendra Sanghapavaye Yogindra Vandyaya Cha Mohatvanta Divakaraya Bhagavatpada Vidham Bibhyate Tasmai Bhashyakrite Namostu Satatam Purnaya Bodhatmane. In Sadhana Panchakam, which is a very short work of Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya, just consisting of 5 verses. But it is laden with intense meaning. It may appear that, it is extremely simple. But we would be mistaken only if we give it a very light consideration. Because whatever has been said over there needs a lot of contemplation also. So up to the first 3 verses, we have seen the entire process of knowledge taking place. Now from the 4th verse onwards, 4th and 5th, these 2 verses are meant for Jnana Nishtha. So we can say the first 3 verses are for Jnana Prapti, in order to attain knowledge. And the next 2 verses indicate the Nishtha. Nishtha means that those means through which the knowledge will be firm. Okay. The question would arise, what do you mean by firm knowledge? Knowledge by itself, it means that it is something free from the doubt and contradiction. Because as long as the samshaya and viparyaya is there, This is the only thing which does not allow the knowledge to take place. And that itself is instability of knowledge. Correct? Samshaya and viparyaya is the instability of knowledge. It is an obstruction. From one angle looked upon it, it means an obstruction because it does not allow the knowledge to function. And the function of knowledge is only to destroy the ignorance. Knowledge does not do any other function. All that knowledge does is only to remove the ignorance. But then we also come across the statements of Upanishad in which it is said that he who has this knowledge attains the highest. Then there is another form of a statement which says, he who has the knowledge goes across the sorrow. आत्मविद क्या है तरति शोकम तरति आत्मविद छांदोग्य. What does it say? Shokam tarati atmavid. Atmavid is like Brahmavid. With means the knower. He who knows the Atma goes across all shoka. Shoka, we understand the meaning of what shoka. Dukkham, misery. So over here, these statements of Upanishad are talking about that what is attained through knowledge. So there seems to be these two attainments. One attainment is the attainment of whatever is highest. What would you call as highest? Having attained which there is nothing more to be attained, which means there is nothing more to be achieved, experienced. There is nothing more that remains wanted. If there is something still more to be attained, achieved, experienced, known, then whatever you have known or achieved is yet not highest. So that word highest means that there is no more lack. Okay. All that, there is nothing lacking anymore. One is absolutely fulfilled. And so what you are saying is that knowledge does nothing else other than only removing the ignorance. But the statements of Upanishad are clearly showing these two attainments of knowledge. The attainment of supreme and the removal of shoka. So naturally now, for anybody who is a thinking person, he will see a discrepancy. Is not it? Because knowledge, an accepted thing is that knowledge removes only ignorance. But Upanishad is saying that knowledge removes all misery and knowledge gives the highest attainment. Do you see the discrepancy or not? So we have to settle this discrepancy before we proceed. It is true. Can you deny this fact that knowledge removes ignorance? So it is an established fact that knowledge, ignorance goes away not by any other means. Which example can be brought in? What else? So there is that snake and the rope. So since you do not know it is a rope, it means there is ignorance of the rope existing. Who has it? You. So I do not know what it is. So don't say that I do not know it is a rope. You do not know what it is. Okay. I do not know it is a rope will mean, vadato vyakata dosh. It is like saying that I am a mute person. Mama mukhe jivha nasti. This fellow is saying through his own mouth, I can't speak. Help me, I can't speak. Then have you observed these children who start speaking late? Okay. Sometimes these are the children who make maximum noise. They don't speak any words and sentences, but they talk so much. They just create a lot of noise. They argue in full, but this thing, and already Jahan is there. You have to see these children. They start talking, but they start talking little late. Then what has happened is that I do not know what it is. Now you sit in front of that, whatever it is. Then you say, I am going to dance. Okay. Will you know what it is by dancing? I am going to sweep and broom the room. Will you know by sweeping, brooming? So any form of karma is not going to make you know what it is. So when it comes to knowing, karma cannot be the sadhana. Then you sit and you say, no, I will do Hare Ram, Ram Ram, jap, jap karta hu main. Bhajan karta hu. You will then, now you will know whatever it is. No. So this form of upasana is also not capable of removing ignorance. Then the third fellow says, I will meditate, chitta vritti nirodha. So he goes into samadhi. Okay, in samadhi, no chitta vritti. Then he comes out of the samadhi. Again, I don't know what it is. Hey, so now you tell, out of these sadhanas which are available to you, karma, upasana, or even samadhi, which of these, can any of these three make you know what it is? How? Does anybody of these, karma, upasana, or samadhi, does any of these sadhanas, these are means, are they capable of removing that ignorance? Karma, upasana, and samadhi, they have their own things to deliver. Okay, they have their own phalas. They have their own place in the scheme. But will they directly remove the ignorance? So karma, upasana, and samadhi, all these three cannot remove the ignorance. What removes the ignorance is the knowledge alone. So knowledge alone has the capacity to remove the ignorance. Okay. Knowledge alone has the capacity to remove ignorance. Established fact. Can knowledge do anything else other than removing ignorance? Will it make you go to Swarga? Will it make you see some, go to some celestial abode of some whatever Golok, Vaikuntha Lok, Kailas Lok? We will provide you. Why just hang on to one? We will give you 7, 8 more. Don't worry, we have a list of it. Why only go to Golok? There is Golok where Sri Krishna Radha is sitting. Then we can send you to Vaikuntha Lok. We can send you to Kailas Lok. And if you do not, then Ganapatyas, those devotees of Ganapati will have their own lok. And if you are a devotee of Lalitamba, then she has her own Manidweep. Where do you want to go? You just tell. We will give you that ticket. To get the visa is your job. Whether you will be allowed there or not is another thing. In the Shri Krishna's Golok, those gopis are standing as Dwarpalas. No men are allowed. No men are allowed. In Manidweepa, at least, whatever the Devi has her own, those women as the guards, etc. But you can go. But if you go to Golok, you will have to dress up. You will have to transform as a gopi only. Manjari, etc. and then go. And, then make garlands for Radha Krishna. And if not garlands, do something else. Fetch water or cook some food, make some bida, sing songs, play sitar, whatever. Whatever is the seva that you can do, render. You can go. But will that upasana, etc., or samadhi cannot remove ignorance. And knowledge cannot give you anything else other than just removing ignorance. But it is said that it is through knowledge that highest is attained and shoka is removed. Now, this discrepancy needs to be settled. In the case of that earlier example, since you do not know what it is ignorance. Another thing has also happened over there is that you see the snake. Okay? You see the snake. Now that snake is something that is projected by the ignorance. Not knowing it is a rope has made you experience there is a snake. So the snake and the consequence of seeing the snake as trembling, etc., will all happen. And what is the cause? The ignorance. Bhayadi, etc., fear and all that is because of ignorance. But when the ignorance goes away, in wake of knowledge, even all these things, the snake also goes away, and eventually even all the things, consequence of seeing the snake also go away, bhayakampati. That also goes away. So you can say that the knowledge has removed the ignorance, knowledge has removed the snake, knowledge has also removed all other bhayakampa, etc. Kampa means shaking of the body, trembling. All that is removed by knowledge. We can say. So also, not knowing that this Atma is Purna Vastu. Now this sense of incompleteness with which one lives, that I am Apurnaha. I lack something. That causes, this is misery. Whatever you may lack, whether you lack money, you lack affection, you lack popularity, you lack going to some heavenly abode, hey, irrelevant. That is immaterial. The fact remains that I find that I am limited, which means I lack something. Something is missing. I am inadequate. I am incomplete. So where is the sense of incompleteness? It is centered on I. It is centered on I. Knowing that the meaning, whatever presently that you refer to as I, as this body-mind complex, the jiva, the karta, bhokta, the doer and the experiencer, the status which you have given to this I, now that itself is taken for verification, because the Upanishad said that this Atma is Purna Vastu, is Brahman, is Brahman. Is that your experience that this Atma, I am Purna? No. Is that what you know? So I do not know that Atma is Brahman. I do not know it is a rope. Then what do you know? I know it as snake. So knowing it as snake is not knowledge. It is ignorance. If you were to know the rope as rope, it is knowledge. But to know the rope as snake is not knowledge. It looks like knowing, but it is not knowledge. And therefore, we are forced to use the word erroneous knowledge. In the strict sense of the word, knowledge would mean what? Knowing the object as the object is. If you know the object as anything, any other thing than what that object is, then it is not knowledge. So also knowing this Atma, the self, as this body-mind complex, as the karta bhokta, as the jiva, as anything else, is not knowledge. But it seems to be your knowing, and therefore it is error. It is an error, but it is an erroneous knowledge. Therefore, what do we use the word? Brahmajnanam, erroneous knowledge. Okay. So by bringing the pramanas, etc., now that knowledge can take place. Because knowledge takes place through pramana only. There's no other way knowledge can ever be generated. Shabda is the pramana. Now this happens. But that knowledge, though has taken place, the knowledge becomes, what is the consequence of knowledge? Ignorance going away. But this knowledge is yet not able to proceed further to destroy the ignorance, to remove the ignorance. Why? Because it has samshaya and viparyaya in it. Thus, samshaya and viparyaya act as obstacles to knowledge. Samshaya and viparyaya act as obstacles to knowledge. How? Go back to snake and rope. Even if somebody was to tell you that this is a rope, now you know, you have the idea that it is a rope. Though you have that knowledge, yet because you have your own doubts, but I think it may be a snake also. Now there is a samshaya. There is a doubt, maybe. Now, this knowledge which has a doubt, or I'm sure it is not a rope, it is a snake. Though knowledge is there, but that viparyaya is there. Samshaya is different from viparyaya. Samshaya is different from viparyaya. Doubt is different from contradiction. Okay? Okay. Viparyaya is there. In samshaya, you are saying it can be a snake, it can be a rope. It can be, it may be a rope, it may not be a rope. So this is the koti dvaya. In viparyaya, the koti dvaya is not there. The two categories do not, it does not swing between these two categories. The knowledge does not swing in these two categories. Koti dvayam is not there. Then what is there in viparyaya? In viparyaya, you are going to say, I am sure it is a snake. I am sure it is a snake only. This is, I am sure Atma is not Brahman. Then what is this Atma? Karta Bhokta Jiva, in any which form. Then you call this as Punyavan, Papi, Upasaka, whatever, Bhakta, whatever you may names can give to it. Keep on refining, keep on polishing this fellow. But whatever you have polished is just that ignorance. Polished ignorance does not mean it is knowledge. Polished foolishness is not wisdom. Sophisticated foolishness is not wisdom. It's still not knowledge. Call it anything. This is, oh, this is a holy snake. Now, calling it holy snake, does it make any, this is knowledge? Now, earlier you were going to say, what an ugly snake. Despicable, horrible snake, evil snake. Now you are saying, holy snake. But calling it holy, what has happened? Is this knowledge? Little sophisticated, polished thing. Not punyavan, papi, but you are some going to some special loop. So then what happened? That's okay. I'm not saying upasana is redundant. Mind you, we are not saying upasana is. Upasana has its own place. It is important. But if you are going to say it is a replacement for knowledge, then sir, we have to stop and think. Over here, we just need to make a little rectification. It is not even a replacement. Okay. Now, this viparyaya, which means this kind of surety that which is there, or whether it is a doubt, what happens? It is only preventing the knowledge from proceeding further to remove the ignorance. True. So therefore, in order for jnana prapti, what is there? We have to resolve the samshaya and viparyaya. Therefore, up to the third verse is the whole process in which through shravanam, pramana vishayaka samshaya is removed. Through mananam, prameya vishayaka samshaya is removed. Doubt centered on prameya vishaya. Okay. And in nididhyasanam, pramatri vishayaka samshaya is removed. Be clear. And this Pramatra Vishayaka Samshaya is actually Viparya. Okay. So Samshaya Bhavana is removed through Shravana. Asambhavana is removed through Manana. And Viparita Bhavana is removed through, because it is a Viparita Bhavana. What else is it? It is a Bhavana. It is a Viparita Bhavana. This is a row. It is exactly contradicting what it is. Therefore, it is Viparita. Viruddha. That is removed through Nilitya. So now, that knowledge which is free from Samshaya and Viparyaya has the capacity to destroy the ignorance. This is Jnana Prapti. Okay. Now, sir, now actually speaking, this Sadhana Panchakam should have it finished over here. The knowledge, this is how knowledge is had, this is what knowledge does, moksha is again done. So what all things did we say? Knowledge brings moksha, which means knowledge removes ignorance, shoka and non-fulfillment of oneself is what is the result of ignorance. When ignorance goes away, both these things also go away, just as when the ignorance about the rope goes away, the snake, etc., also go away. Correct? This is the whole. So the work should have had finished over here. Whatever has to be said is already said. Then what is the point of still giving instructions in 2 more verses? Because that means 16 more. Every verse is containing 8 instructions. Then it means 16 more things are there. What is the point of these ones? So now, as I said, up to this point for Jnana Prapti, and thereafter it is Jnana Nishtha. Okay, what is Jnana Nishtha? Now, in English, if we were to say, we would have said firm abidance in the knowledge, firm abidance in self. Is it like holding on to some pillar very fast, like that monitor lizard? You know, na? A monitor lizard, huh? Yeah, and it holds the rocks, etc., so fast that it can die, but it does not leave. Is it that firm abidance means something like that? Firm faith. I will die, but I will not give up my conviction. Something like that. Is that what is it? That kind of a conviction that this is my conviction, I will stand by it. Hey, that is your belief. And belief, etc., are all dependent on the ego. Knowledge does not demand any ego. In fact, this is a knowledge which removes that ego, kartritvam and bhoktritvam. Then what is this firm abidance in knowledge? What is that firm abidance in knowledge? Or what does it mean by stability of knowledge? Jnana-nishtha means stability, stairyam. It is no longer shaky. What does that mean? So firm abidance of knowledge is not conviction, first of all. It is not conviction. Because if you are going to say it is a conviction, it means that it is a belief. Knowledge is not a belief. Okay? Knowledge is not a belief. Belief means something which cannot be verified or which is still yet to be verified. In this category, it can be a belief. When I'm going to say, I believe you have had food, which means that I really do not know you have had or not. So I can ask you, did you have food or not, and verify. And after verifying, I need not say, I believe that you had had food. I can say, I know you have had food. So there is a difference over here that, a belief is different. Belief is something which either cannot be verified or it is yet to be verified. In this area, it will be called as this, whatever it is belief. I believe there is God and there is heaven. Can you verify there is God and there is heaven? In order to verify there is heaven, you will have to go there. And to go to the heaven, what? Can you just walk to heaven? No. Our prophet once wrote that on the back of a horse into that heaven. So now we believe it. Hey, so this is our knowledge. This is not knowledge. This is still, it dangles between whether it can be rejected, it cannot be rejected, it cannot be even accepted. It dangles in between. So something which cannot be verified and therefore it remains dangling forever is called as belief. So it cannot be verified. A. B is that something is yet to be verified. And therefore, this is, but in case of knowledge is something that is already verified and hence it is knowledge. Correct? It can be verified and it is verified. Therefore, it is knowledge. Now, if I say water means two molecules of hydrogen, one molecule of oxygen. Okay. Have you seen two molecules being put together and make hydrogen 2 and one of oxygen and then created? No. So now let us say that you have not verified, this is your belief. But can it be verified? Is there a way of verifying it? Yes, there is. So it can be verified and it has been verified and therefore it is knowledge. This cannot be called as belief. This is not a belief. What do you mean by stability of knowledge? So therefore, stability of knowledge does not mean conviction. Conviction is something with regard to belief. So stability of knowledge or jnana nishtha does not mean firm conviction. Got that? Is this your firm conviction that the earth has gravitational force? But you can say it is my firm conviction that our Prime Minister is a good man. The leftists will have a different opinion. They will have the firm conviction that the Prime Minister is a fascist. Whatever it is. Now, this is your conviction. And that is there. And a clash of this. And therefore there will be clash of beliefs always. Religions which are clashing because this is a clash of beliefs, which means both of them do not know and therefore there is a clash. In knowledge, there is no clash. Either it is there, it is not there, done. It is known. In belief, you will have the clash. So conviction is not jnana nishtha. Conviction over here, jnana nishtha over here means stability of knowledge. Stability of knowledge means that this knowledge is not shaken by rise of doubts or rise of viparyaya again. That's it. Which means what? Either the viparyaya does not rise, or because you have the capacity to resolve the doubts the moment it raises its hood. That is then called as jnana nishtha. Okay, that is then called as jnana nishtha. So in Jivan Mukti Viveka, this principle is elaborated throughout that book. Now, as long as the body-mind complex is going to be there, it is prarabdha, it will continue. Till then, the mind will keep on producing cognitions. Okay? Because that is the function of the mind. Mind is also an equipment and it can do what it is meant to do. So what is the function of the mind? To produce, to manufacture cognitions, thought processes. And with every thought process, the ego is also born, and ego is a viparyaya. And therefore, what we are going to say is that let these thought processes only get stopped, because the viparyaya will not rise, and because the rise of this viparyaya means that it creates instability, and therefore that jnana nishtha means giving oneself to samadhi abhyasa. For what reason? So that the viparyaya does not take place. And because that viparyaya does not take place, the result is jnana raksha. Okay. Therefore, there is that samadhi abhyas. What was the samadhi abhyasa meant for in the earlier case as nididhyasanam? It was meant, you remember yesterday we discussed this, so that the samskaras, which samskaras? Aham jiva, aham karta, aham bhokta, these samskaras which are viparyaya, which is viparyaya. Now this samskara is so strong, we need to create a counter force. We need to create a counter force to neutralize it. And therefore, aham brahmiti samskara is now created. This aham brahma samskara is the result of samprajñāta samadhi, and thus this is resolved. So in order to subdue the viparyaya before the knowledge is the samadhi abhyasa meant for knowledge. Meant for knowledge. And the samadhi abhyasa after the knowledge has taken place is meant for stability of. So the next two verses are going to talk to you about those things, that how the lifestyle has to be there so that the jnana nishtha takes place, wherein now Jivan Mukti is its phalam. So through knowledge, Videha Mukti is there, and through the rest of it after that, it is Jivan Mukti. And this is what is said. Vimuktascha vimuchyate. The one who is a Jivan Mukta alone actually gets liberated. He who is Vimukta becomes Vimukta. But this is a very meaningful sentence. It is not just some kavita, some flight of some rishi's imagination. This is not their imagination. It is not some form of a fantasy of some rishi or anything. So vimuktascha vimuchyate. That is where Jivan Mukti Viveka starts. Okay. Now therefore we have Manonasha and Vasanakshaya as the sadhana of Jivan Mukti. How will the Vasanakshaya take place? Though it has been discussed over there, thrashed out every principle of it. But Bhagavan Bhashyakara indicates that in this verse number 4. What does he say? Kshudvyadishta chikitsyatam pratidinam bhikshaushadam pujyatam. First of all, now the knowledge has taken place. Now this person, how he must deal with it. The rest of the things are also said. Brahmasmiti vibhavyatam harahar garbha parityajyatam. And then after, he has said what? Deheham matiruchyatam budajanehi vadah parityajyatam utsricyatam samutsricyatam. That let not this, the ego of knowledge now come. Because the ego is capable, as long as the thoughts will happen, there will be something to identify with. So, Garbha Parityajyata, Dehe Hammatiruchyata, Buddhajanehi, do not get into the arguments just because the rest of the people, they are ignorant and whatever they are saying, let us go and argue and defeat them and all that. I'm going to prove how the Shruti Mata Upanishad Mata is going to be Sarvopari. That and rest of the people, we are going to fight with them and then defeat them, and then finally we are going to spread this, everywhere. This is also said, Buddhajanehi Vadah Parityajyata. Because this is a part of that Vasana Akshaya. That's why we do not have the policy of converting people. Converting people is not there. Converting to our faith. You will not find this kind of a thing ever done with Vedanta, that people are standing on the road distributing books. Come over here. Start believing in this. Till now you were believing in that, now you start believing in something else. The shift of belief, you still remain a believer, what is the difference? When I went to Rome, that is what I saw. Before the advent of Christianity, Catholicism in Rome, the Romans were worshipping their own gods, some Neptune and Plato and Apollo and all that. They had their own pantheon. Now, before people started believing in Yeshu Christ and Mother Mary, this is what they were believing in. And whenever they went to their temples, what were they saying? Okay, my wife is sick, and make her okay. This time, give me more money. I don't have children. Give me some more children. And kind of this is the my neighbor is bad. Let him die. Something like that. This is what you were asking for. Now that you are there, you are converted. Now, what are you still praying? My wife is sick and my child, I don't have children, I want more money. Same thing. What have you changed? Only your ways of worship and ways of asking, and you have changed. Where is the paradigm shift? But that is false God. This is real God. And how? On what basis? So change of belief in from one God to another. It can be that this is a better version. That can be there. At least this is not going to be as but it does not have nuisance value. That is the only good point about it. But it is the same thing. Yeah, for again. Conviction. We are not talking about that. So there is Budajani Vada Parityanchata. This is not meant so that you can become what? Sarvopari, you can prove how great you are. Knowledge does not require to prove that it is great. Knowledge by itself will shine. It shines. So now over here, Budajani, so this is Vasana Akshaya. So in whom that this knowledge has taken place, now that person is being told, now even let this get dissolved. The garva, the pride or anything, let that get dissolved. So we are not teaching any humility. Become humble. But humble in a way. Gone. And so Vasana Akshaya. Then comes Shudvyadishtatikitsatam Prativinam Dikshaushanam Guchatam. Now you are being told that observe the hunger. And how is this hunger? This hunger is like a disease. Or it can be said, hunger and disease is something that you observe and find out what it is, and then give it the aushadhi, the medicine, a treatment of feeding food to the body. Dikshaushanam Guchatam. So, and that food is also diksha. Food is bhiksha. Bhiksha means who can have bhiksha? Only a sannyasi. Bhikshu only can take bhiksha. If you are a grihastha and all, you cannot take bhiksha. As a grihastha, you should give bhiksha, not take bhiksha. A brahmana who does not have any other source of thing, income, etc. He can do because he is doing only that teaching job. He is capable. Paurohitya, etc. that he does, he can take Diksha. Brahmachari can take Diksha. Vanaprastha also can take. But a Grihastha, the one who is capable of earning, he should support and not seek support. Is sannyasi a member earning income? Is sannyas meant to generate money so that you can run ashrams and big? No. For a sannyasi, he can take Diksha. So now Dikshaushram Ujjatam, it means two things. First, for the sannyas which is taken for the sake of knowledge is Vividisha sannyas, and therefore now from over here, even if the knowledge has taken place, a person is grihastha. For him now post knowledge. What is there is that sannyasi is Vidvat sannyas, meant for what? For Jivan. And therefore, Diksha Uksharam Uchyata. Okay. It is that Annam is not meant so that, to appease the senses. Chatorepan ke liye nahi hai. That is meant so that the hunger is satiated. Hunger is satiated. So how much, whatever is required, but not more than that. If it goes to for any other reasons to satiate the senses, appeasement, now it has crossed its definition. Now you are entering into a dangerous, and therefore be aware, be alert. Diksha Usharam Vichata. Swadvarnam Natviyachatam. So this fellow goes for Bhiksha, Narayana Hari. Even sannyasi cannot say, give me Bhiksha. Sannyasi will stand in front of that house and only will say Narayana Hari. The Grihastha has to understand, the woman of that house has to understand that these are food should be given. And to feed a sannyasi is a great virtue, great punya. So sannyasi has to be fed. So giving food to the sannyasi is a punya. That sannyasi stands in front of that house. How long can he keep on asking for food? From morning till evening? No. He should stand over there only that much time, as much time as it takes to milk a cow. That's it. And if that house does not give him food or sufficient, he can go to the next. How many times? Only 5 or 7 houses that he can go. If whatever is his requirement gets fulfilled in the first house only, he did not go to the second. But that second house, I think they're making nice food. This fellow has given me more. Should I go over there also? No. And so therefore it is Swadvarnam Natyachatam Vidivashat Praptena Santushyatam. Now whatever has come into your Bhiksha Patra is Vidivashat, is according to what you are supposed to get. So many rich men and women live in this world, but they are eating some dry, cereal. Healthy food. So now they are not eating something that is, earlier in the villages, if you went, the food that these people are eating, We don't. That was something that was offered to the cattle. Now they are eating it all. Not in their prarabdha. It is not there in their prarabdha. So they will eat this. So what, ultimately you will get what you deserve through as your karma. Vidivashat prapt, and then learn how to be happy, satisfied. Now that knowledge is already there, but with regards to food and all, again the viparyaya comes in. When the viparyaya comes, let that viparyaya be such that it is not troublesome. Okay, let it be aklishta. Even if the viparyaya comes, let it be aklishta. Then comes the next one. Swadvannam natriyachatam vidivashat praptena santusyatam. Shitoshnaदिविषह्यतां न तु वृथा vakyam samucharyatam. This is good for me. Now, it means Shitoshnadivishayatam. Endure these pairs of opposites. What? Shita and Ushna. Shita means cold and heat and cold, seasonal. And then Mana and Apmana. Even this is also there. Not that just because you are a sannyasi, everybody should keep on worshipping you. That demand itself is very childish, immature. Who will respect you? The one who has value for what you have will respect you. He who does not have value for what you have, why will he respect you? Everybody should get up. If this fellow does not get up, theek hai bhai, hum kya kare? It means he has no value for that knowledge. If he has no value for that knowledge, he will not get that knowledge because he will not strive for it. And even if he has it, he is going to drop it any which way. So he is not an adhikari. To expect that everybody, let us make it a general rule, like in time. The rule is that as a grihastha, worship, so that some samskara takes place in your family. Well then, therefore, shitoshnadi vishahyatam, sahyatam, sahan karna. Then, vishesh roop se, then is what? Natu vritha vakyam samucharyatam. Don't talk when it is not required. Vritha vakyam, which means it is useless discussions, don't do. Natu vritha vakyam samucharyatam. Then comes audasinyam abhipsyata. And also always keep the attitude of being little withdrawn, observe everyone. Need not be a participant everywhere. Need not be a part. In fact, for a sannyasi, he need not be a participant at all. Then, audasinyam adhipsyatam chanakripa aishturyam utsrichyatam. Don't even get involved, because I was drawn by that kindness towards him. You will never know when something else only has taken place. Oh, I went to help this lady, and you never knew that you went to help her, and then you fell in love when you got infatuated. So it is okay. Naishturyam, not even out of Naishturyam. Not because, out of, don't even be cruel. Don't even try to make a display and, participate out of kindness, not even out of cruelty. Now, whatever is the spontaneous action, that is okay. This is, up to this point, is Vasanakshaya. Then from here, the fifth verse is Samadhi Abhyasa, which is called as Manonasha. And this is shown to us in the next verse. Tomorrow is Guru Purnima, so in the morning we will do the puja. And day after tomorrow, the morning sessions we will be studying Tatvanusandhanam. Be prepared, those who are going to participate, because it is a little advanced book and it will require tenacity, patience, and alertness and regularity. Someday you will say that I will come, someday I will not come, I will come whenever I get time. It is okay. Then then do something else. So it requires that is Tatvana, and it is a voluminous work. Patience, regularity, alertness, all these things are compulsory. We will start that from day after tomorrow. Tomorrow's puja, etc., is kind of seeking blessings so that we are able to go forward with our studies in Vedanta. But tomorrow evening, that evening class, I'm just thinking of converting it to complete this one verse. So instead of Bhagavad Gita, in the afternoon, we will do this fifth verse of Sadhana Panchakm. Okay? So we will meet again tomorrow twice, once for the Vyasa Puja, which is the Guru Purnima Puja, and then in the afternoon to discuss the fifth verse. Well, Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashyakrito Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murtibheda Vibhagine Vyomavadvyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you all.